Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island USA Season 5, Episode 33, and let's get right into the video. Alright, let's get right into the video. I would just say this before we even get right into the things that happen in this episode, is that they always try to get Destiny out. But Destiny prevailed. Like, all of Destiny's ops go home. All of Destiny's ops get sent packing. Okay? Like, spoiler alert, without even a spoiler alert, they always try to get Destiny out. But like I said, she ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You know, she ain't not going anywhere. I just gotta let that be known. The fact that she's persevering throughout, all these outside people will be like, oh, Destiny's in the wrong, da 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 da. But she persevered, okay? So let's get right into the video. Basically, everything I said in my last review literally was word for word, bar for bar. Literally everything I said. Kassy's speech was basically to Leo. Her speech was definitely telling. She couples up with Leo.
So the person I would like to couple up with is Leo.
I mean, they left off on cliffhanger for what? Because we saw the first look, the little preview for tonight's episode, and they literally showed Leo in the clip. So, we waited all night for what? They put Leo in the clip, so we basically knew that Leo got picked by Kassy. So, we just didn't know if Johnny picked Scott, but obviously Johnny picked Scott. Like I said, leaving Mattia, going home. The first night, Kassy and Leo are coupled up together. They basically confess their love. I mean, Leo, he did already. He did this a couple episodes back. But Kassy finally tells Leo her feelings. And, obviously, they kiss, whatever. They share a bed, whatever. But the thing about it is that Kassy is still saying that Leo still has to work back to earn her trust. Even though they have a lot of deep feelings for each other, it's not over. He didn't win anything yet. He still has to work for it. And I would just say this, the only thing, I guess the difference between the whole Keenan situation and KK and, Kassy and Leo, I guess, is that we can obviously see Leo working towards to earn back Kassy's trust. We didn't see Keenan do anything. He didn't work. He didn't put in anything really to say, oh, he's getting back with KK or he's earning KK's trust. We didn't see that. So basically seems like, KK just folded without anything going on, while Kassy made this guy work for it. Work. And he still has to work for it. So it's not even done with him. So at the end of the day, that's the difference between those two couples. So, Johnny and Scott, seems like their first night they had a decent time. They were kissing in bed. And I'm like, okay, interesting. We see Kyle and Destiny have a chat, Seems like whatever they talked about, they want to explore on that connection. It was probably a nice connection, They liking what they see and they liking what's going on. They got each other. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the last week of the show. Who's really checking for them right now? So, the Zay is talking to the guys, and Zay is basically telling the guys, you know what? I don't really see it with Imani. It's gonna be friendship couple. So you have Berkey, of all people, telling, Zay, stick it out. Friendship couples can, ride to the end, whatever. Something like that he's telling to Zay. And then, I think Scott, Scott was in that conversation. Kyle was there. Marco was there. Basically, the majority of the guys heard Zay basically tell tell them that he is not really feeling Imani like that, and they basically encouraged him to just give it a chance. It's been one day. After one night of being paired up, this man is already trying to jump ship, and everybody thought it was Destiny. Oh, Destiny this, Destiny that. This man is jumping ship. Then you have Imani over here, basically, I guess, telling the girls like, "Oh my gosh, he seems genuine. Like he cares about the little things and da 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 da." After one conversation and one night being coupled up, you're telling the girls he cares about the little things and, he seems genuine and all that stuff. And I'm just like, okay. And so everybody's like, da 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 da, like he's such a good guy, da 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 da. That's what Imani's saying while he's telling the boys, yeah, it's not it. Next thing you know, they get a text that they have to go outside to the market and basically cook dinner for the girls. So they're out all day buying like produce and stuff to make dinner. And they came back to the villa and made dinner. They made spaghetti and meatballs, and then Bergie made a chocolate cake. So it was a nice little dinner. Everybody seemed happy and content. Next thing you know, they get a text and they have to vote for the least compatible couple in the villa. So everybody's like in deliberation in their couples. And basically the names that came out was Johnny and Scott, Zay and Imani, and Kyle and Destiny as, people who are the least compatible.
In terms of Johnny and Scott, they were both interested in a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to say this, but sometimes I question Scott's intentions.
And hey, I feel like that's valid.
Do you think they're less compatible than freaking Johnny and Scott?
It's close.
For me, Scott was still pulling Johnny and Imani. Just have the options so he can be secured and staying,
I would say we get to them saying which couple, voting for whom. Carmen and Kenzo went first, and they voted for Zay and Imani. Imani and Zay went next and voted for Destiny and Kyle. Now, Zay's reasoning was that, there wasn't a physical attraction. And I'm just like, what are you basing that off of? What are you basing that off of? Because every time we saw Destiny and Kyle chat, they were either hugged up or laid up. So what are we basing this off of? And granted, you just coupled up the night before. So what are we basing this off of? So Destiny and Kyle went next and they voted for Imani and Zay. So then it went to Bergie and Taylor S. And Bergie and Taylor S, they were like fumbling while trying to like say their reasonings. And then they ended up voting for Scott and Johnny. So then Marco and Hannah went and they voted for Destiny and Kyle. And my thing is, Marco heard what Zay said about the friendship thing. He then later on told Hannah, and then you have Hannah saying they're voting for Destiny and Kyle. I'm like, why are you even voting for them? Because one of their reasonings was that they had enough if they had a relationship or they had a connection, they would have, act on it sooner. But the same thing could be said about Imani and Zay. Both Destiny and Imani were in Casa more, were they not? With Zay and Kyle. So that's what I'm just like, they were both there with, the same people. If you're trying to check one couple for not acting on their, connection, sooner than last night, then you should check the other couple. They were trying to say that, why didn't this happen any sooner? It didn't happen any sooner because Destiny, when she came back from Casa, she was with Zay. Zay was basically like telling her that he was all in on her. And then later, after the whole Mike situation, he switched up and basically said he wants to be open. So that's why it didn't happen any sooner. Imani and Kyle, they ended it before Destiny and Zay even ended it. And then where was her? She just talked to Zay the night before the recoupling. So, if you want to check one couple, you gotta check the other couple. But it's definitely giving buddy-buddy. Okay, it's definitely giving buddy-buddy. So that was their vote. So then, Leonardo and Kassy end up voting for Imani and Zay. And Leo, he finally he was real. He was like, we're not voting. We're not trying to keep in a friendship couple in here. We're trying to get couples that trying to potentially see if they can work on the outside. And if you hear from one of the guys basically say that you're a friendship couple, then why would we keep you in here? You know what I'm saying? So, and then we have Kassy basically saying that Zay is probably not genuine on his side. So then the last vote came down to Scott and Johnny. And Scott and Johnny voted for Zay and Imani. And they basically said that Zay wasn't genuine. And then Scott was like, Zay literally said out of his own mouth that he only sees it as a friendship couple. So then Imani heard that, and she basically was like in Zay's embrace. So she basically leans out of Zay's embrace and then gets up and goes to the top of the fire pit. So, Zay had wanted to check, Scott and basically say like, oh, you guys should have said that nicer or whatever and whatnot. And Scott was like, this is what you said. Like, what do you want us to do? This is what you said. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, oh, you should have said that nicer. You should have said that nicer. So then, at the end of the day, Imani was like, she's going to take accountability for her decisions. It says later on that, Zay was genuine.
Why would you say that?
I feel like it was an important thing in the factor.
We've literally just started talking yesterday. I get what you're saying, and I don't blame you for picking us, but there's definitely more of a respectful way you could have went about that would have avoided her from feeling that way. I had voiced that honestly to you guys, that we only started talking yesterday, and I had known her before, so initially that friendship vibe was there.
Well, I don't think Zay had wrong intent. Our connection was just as quick as a few people's here. And I don't think Zay should be to blame. I made a decision to, look at the qualities he had and, see where it could go. So, I stand on everything I did. I'm a realized bitch. So when I say something, I mean it. And, it is what it is. I see things for what they are. I have no regrets.
Granted, she does have to take accountability for her actions because Scott was right there. You had the decision to pick Scott. You did not. They were saying that Scott, before the recoupling, was still pulling Kassy, Imani, and, Johnny for chats. So he was still keeping his options open. He didn't close the door on anybody. So the fact that you still had the opportunity to pick Scott and you didn't, that's on you. Why did you pick Zay after one conversation? After the entire day and a half you were getting to know Scott. So then, she was like, she's keeping it real and whatnot. So then after she gets dumped with Zay, she tells, Destiny that, Kyle, like she saw same things that Kyle were doing with her that, she's doing with Destiny. So I'm just like, maybe it's because you have your bias because you're trying to give her the heads up about Kyle. But, what I'm saying, you're trying to give her the heads up about Kyle and how he moved. But I'm like, not every relationship Kyle's going to move the same way. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to move the same way. Not every relationship is going to move the same way. So I'm just like, you have your bias about Kyle, and that's why you voted for, Destiny and Kyle. you know, if Zay didn't open his mouth, you know, maybe Imani would have still been here. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it is what it is. Zay was not going to stay in the villa longer than Destiny. Know that. And he didn't. So he got dumped. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they were saying that, you know, I think Carmen was talking to Kenzo, and she was saying how, you know, Destiny was in the in Casa Amor with Kyle, so why didn't get to know each other? But the same thing could be said about Imani and Zay. They were in Casa Amor together. Why didn't you get to know Zay? You were kissing on Rob. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, you can't check one without checking the other, because there's really the same situations. They literally just swap Casa couples. That's really what they did. They swapped Casa couples, so you can't really check one without checking the other. You know what I'm saying? You know, and Imani want to say everybody, like, there's a couple new couples in here too. But I'm like, yeah, there's a couple new couples in here, you know. But after hearing Zay said that there's going to be friendship situation, no one's going to overlook that in a compatibility vote. You know what I'm saying? Once friendship couple leaves your mouth in this villa, you're gone, okay? You're gone, especially during a vote. You're gone. You're gone. Like, you can't overlook that. You know what I'm saying? Kyle knew how to shut his mouth, even if he is not feeling of his destiny. He knew not to express that outwardly, because that can really come back to bite you. Were to come down to a vote for a favorite couple, and I still voted for Destiny once again. I still voted for Destiny. Like, it is what it is. I still voted for Destiny. I don't really care about Kyle, but we just ran back that vote from the last vote and voted for Destiny and Kyle once again. I feel like with everybody now loving Kassy and Leo again, I feel like they're just gonna overshadow Marco and Hannah and win. So even though all of Destiny's ops get sent home, maybe Marco and Hannah wouldn't get sent home, because obviously they've been in like a day 2, day 3 couple, you know, from the beginning, you know. So taking out one of your strongest couples out that villa is no bueno, okay? So at the end of the day, they might not get the bag. They might let Leo and Kassy overshadow them. So you know what? They might not leave the villa, but Destiny might get the last laugh, and Kassy and Leo might win over them. Because I see a lot of Kassy and Leo votes, and I'm like, wow. Even after Leo did what he did, people still riding for him. I'm just like, wow. They're really going to get that Millie and Liam win Season 7 UK if this is really going to happen. Really going to get that Millie and Liam. If that's going to happen. So while, you know, Hannah and Marco might think that they got this in the bag, Kassy and Leo might overshadow them. And Bessie might get the last laugh, because you're not going to win. You're not going to win, Marco. You're not going to win. So anyway, she got all her ops in line. All her ops got sent home. Jonah, Zay, you know, Harrison, all of them out the door. Gone. Is what it is. Destiny over here. They're saying that we're not going to find the results of our votes until Friday's episode. So I'm like, what's going on Thursday? Like, are we not going to get an episode on Thursday? Like I said, what's tea? Like, where's our Thursday episode? You know? I know we're not going to have an episode tomorrow because it's Wednesday, but anyway, guys, if you like the video, comment down below and let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.